listening to Oilers Nation Radio, a member of the Nation network of podcasts and delivered by DoorDash. 1 hour of straight hockey talk with Dan, Rick, Tyler, and Bag Milk starts now.
What was that?
Just throwing a little... Get the people going.
Some upgrades.
Mm-hmm. Freestyling.
Well, on BLT Bets, the betting podcast Tyler and I do, he has been making his own beats as the intro for the podcast, and it's been really nice.
Yeah, because I don't have the Roadcaster hooked up at my house yet. So to compensate for it, our intro for that's always like a dubsteppy kind of like, so then I just do it myself.
Yeah, it's really nice. So now he is incorporating some of those skills into the intro for ON Radio, which I very much appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Bag Milk, Rick, Dan, Tyler, we're all here. Next hour of your life is going to be consumed by all things Edmonton Oilers. Maybe a little flams. Maybe a little complaining about the Nike outlet store.
Well, now you've ruined your cold performer. Good one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
They won't even remember by the time we get there.
You're right.
Tyler, Episode 216, we must kick it off with a delicious debate for our friends at Oodle Noodle. 17 locations and counting. Soon to be coming to Calgary. Behind enemy lines, Tyler. What do you got for a delicious debate for us today?
Today's Oodle Noodle and DoorDash delicious debate, ding dong, is the Kailer Yamamoto contract a fair deal?
Kailer Yamamoto has announced $3.1 million on a 2-year contract extension. This first year of the contract has a $300,000 signing bonus. No signing bonus in the second year. Rick, I will start with you.
When does he get that money? That signing bonus? He get it right now?
I don't know.
That dude's going to have a really good August, I bet.
Probably.
Yeah.
Just a quick wake up the next morning, find $300 large in your bank account.
Oh, 100%. That's good
for a young guy, 23 years old.
Yeah,
he can go to any outlet mall he wants.
He doesn't need the outlet mall.
Yeah, he just goes straight Nike ID custom kicks.
Oh yeah, no, he's getting the store like shut down for him, just walking around doing his own thing in there.
Gets a private plane to whatever Nike outlet he wants. That's how rich Kailer Yamamoto is now.
Just because he's got it doesn't mean he is not still a fan of the outlet malls. We don't know that.
Fair enough. Actually, yeah, that's a great point.
I like savings no matter what.
What's there to be a fan of though?
Well, we'll get to that later.
All right, fair. What are we supposed to be talking about?
The new his contract, the thing that's supplying him with the money for the outlet.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, no, you know what? I think it's pretty much exactly what you expected for him. I know a couple of people would like to see it a little bit longer, but he has to sign that contract too, right? So I think he left him with 2 RFA years. It also takes him pretty much to the projected time when the cap's supposed to go up again, which is, I mean, the fact that it's been a flat cap or relatively a flat cap has kind of screwed over a lot of players in this league. So, you know, you have to kind of accept it and get as close as you can to when it goes back up again and try and get your money at that point. So right now it's 2 thumbs up and I think it's good for the team and the player.
Nation Dan.
Yeah. I mean, for me, when we signed Evander Kane to the deal that we did, you assume that Puljujarvi and Yamamoto were going to get some, I don't want to call these bridge deals because like in the case of Puljujarvi, it's probably not a bridge deal. It's probably find out what trade value we can get for him. But with Yamamoto, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that we're making a bet on a 23-year-old player here. So it's not like we're going out on a limb and giving a bunch of money to a 30-year-old. So yeah, I'm okay with it. It's good to have 2 years of him and not just 1 year like we do with Yessa.
Yeah. And that's where I come out too, is I just don't see a way in which this deal isn't worth it for the Oilers. Like if he's a third liner who scores you, 18 to 19 goals and kills some penalties for you, that's fair. I think $3 million is relatively fair for that. Like it wouldn't be a gross overpay. And if as a 23-year-old, if he takes a couple of steps forward here and he becomes a 23 to 25 goal guy for this team and plays on Draisaitl's wing, because we know Leon likes playing with him, then all of a sudden you're sitting there for the second year of that deal and going, wow, pencil in 25 goals to our top 6 for only $3 million. Love it. I'm a big fan of this deal. I would have done 5 years by $3 million for Yamamoto.
I don't think Yamamoto would have done 5 years for $3 million.
No, not a chance, but I would have tried to trick him.
That's right. I want to know how you're going to try and trick him.
Bring him to the Nike outlet, schmooze him with some new shoes.
Hey, have you seen these babies? They're in the lifestyle category.
While you're doing that, just sign this contract. Don't look at the terms.
Yeah. I like the contract for the Oilers. $3 million, that's fair for a guy who's going to score you 20 goals. Is it not?
I think so.
It has to be. So I think it's a good deal. Last year, if you remember, let me take you on a trip in the Wayback Machine. Yamamoto didn't sign till September last year on a 1-year deal.
That's a good point.
So I'm happy to have this done early. We know what's going on. Yamo's coming back. Everybody's happy. Everybody is happy. Well,
Should be happy.
Should be happy.
I'm designing custom shoes on the Nike website.
Oh, nice. What do you got going on over there?
There's a little mud brown cream.
Oh, that would look real nice. Especially with that new hoodie you got on.
Go with anything.
Are you going to give him a J? Like you're getting the Browns colors on there?
You're right. They are the Browns colors. No, it's got some cream in there though.
And then you just buy a hoodie yesterday that was the Browns colors again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a cream colored hoodie there as well.
That's sharp.
Yeah.
People who watch the clips on TikTok, please let me know what you think of my new hoodie.
Tyler has got a brand new Nike hoodie from the excellent, never disappointing outlet location.
Anyways, Nike, if you're looking to get into the podcast sponsoring game, this episode speaks for itself.
Do you think that Nike is going to come in and get the NHL rights? Because I do.
I think it's going to be Fanatics and we're all going to be wildly disappointed in the quality of the product.
I think it's going to be Nike and they're going to have a clean sweep on the North American sports market.
Yeah, because they have baseball, they have basketball, and they have football, right?
They make their own?
Yeah. Like the swoosh is on there. It'd be cool. Like I'm a Nike guy. Like I'm a bit of a, for lack of a cleaner phrase, I'm a bit of a brand whore where I like rocking the check mark and stuff. I'm still holding out hope that Nation Gear gets the contract.
Yep.
What if it's something random? Like, the CFL went to like New Era.
Puma.
Oh yeah. Puma bounce.
Diadora comes back in.
Hey, Adidas just bounced. The other brother coming in, the Puma guy, he comes in.
Drysaitl's a Puma athlete.
There you go.
Can you imagine just like out of nowhere? Coho is like, we're still making shit, by the way. Like we never stopped. I don't know why everyone ignored us. Jofa, the official jersey supplier.
If Nike comes in though, they have to re-release the white skates.
The white skates, of course.
Come on now.
They were 2,000 pounds, but they look great.
I was so fast in those.
Coho or Jofa come back and like, we got the NHL deal, guys, but they have no new technology. Like the players are wearing like 80-pound jerseys.
You got to rock those buckets from the 80s. That is basically just like a wish and a prayer on your head.
Yep. Let's do it. Jofa, come on back.
Although I would like to see Jofa upgrade the technology, but keep the shell the same, if that's possible. Like the look remains, but the protection
it's 1,000% safer.
Back to Yamamoto and the delicious debate. Come on, Nike, bring it in.
Yeah.
But you got to think though, by the amount of money they probably spend on the NFL and the NBA and the MLB, come on, the NHL, that's a bargain.
They're making a lot out of that too though, right?
Yeah. Anyways, back to Yamamoto. It's a really strong deal. And I think, again, it's great to look at this team. And I had a bit of a panic when I looked at their cap space for next season. They only have $13.5 million in projected cap space next year. And I was like, shit, that's not a lot of money. But then you look and it's like, okay, well now McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nuge, Kane, and Yamamoto are all signed under that. Mm-hmm. So your top six is locked up.
Done.
On your blue line, Nurse, Barrie, Ceci, Kulak signed. Bouchard, team control, RFA, no ARB rights. Easy deal to get cheap if you want to, or you could go long-term with them. And Broberg. So like your 6 D-men and your top 6 forwards and one of your goalies, Skinner, RFA, ARB rights, could get interesting, but won't be too crazy. The point here is this is the Oilers core for the next few years. You know, Puljujarvi's they probably view him as more of a third line option right now, whether that's right or wrong. We don't need to get into that. But if they wanted a year from now, their top 6 up front, their 6 defensemen and their 2 goalies will likely look the same. It's on this group to win now.
Skinner's an RFA next year, right?
With ARB. Yeah.
Oh, with ARB?
Yeah. But like, so he'll be back.
So what are we talking, like off the top of your head, 2 mil?
Yeah, maybe. Depends how much he plays this year. 2 mil.
Yeah. Well, if he plays like say 45%.
Yeah, I'd say probably 2 mil.
That's fair.
So anyways, the point is this Yamamoto deal, although it's a 2-year contract, I think it kind of cements him a little bit as, okay, you're a part of this core. Like, let's go. I wouldn't be surprised if McLeod gets 2 years now too. And they just really lock in this group and kind of give them the challenge of like, hey, you know, Connor and Leon, we got you, Hyman. We got you, Kane. You know, on the blue line, we got our pieces. We got you, Jack Campbell. This is your team. Go win.
At this point, it's now up to the guys with the skates on their feet to go out there and win. I mean, this is a very good team. On paper, there's no reason why they can't go to the final. Yeah. It's now on the guy. It's now on the player. So GM, well done. Sit back, enjoy the ride, watch it.
Especially when you look around the West and like, look who was in the Final Four last year, right? Colorado got worse. Calgary got worse. It's interesting.
Well, that to me, that's the big thing is that the Oilers regular season should be better than their regular season was last year, just because you don't have that December month where we were just spinning our wheels.
Full year of Woody
and a full year of Woody. So
that's not healthy.
Yeah, there's a lot.
No, you gotta get checked by a doctor.
Yeah.
Anything more than 3-4 hours, forget 12 months.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's not good. We are real life-esque today. We cannot stay on topic. I had to close the custom Nike tab because I just need to focus.
You weren't even getting Oilers shoes done there, by the way.
No, I wasn't.
No, you were but you were going to match your hoodie that you're wearing right now.
Yeah.
Although those are probably going to come out. Those are going to be like $200 shoes though.
180 US, not including shipping. So I'm definitely not buying those.
Yeah. Yamamoto deal done. But to me, looking at Puckpedia, our friends at puckpedia.com, with this contract signed and Clefbaum and Smith moving to LTIR, the Oilers effectively have $423,000, or they're effectively $423,000 over the cap. Still got McLeod to sign, still got Tyler Benson to sign. What's going to happen? Somebody's got to go.
There are 3 options.
What are they?
You trade Fogel for close to nothing. You trade Puljujarvi for less than he's worth, or you find a team to take Tyson Barrie, and then you have a hole on your blue line.
I don't like these options.
No, they all kind of suck.
So I would have to take option 1, please.
Fogel.
Who do you miss? Who would you miss the least in this lineup?
Yeah.
I think there's maybe an argument to be made for Barrie, but again, if you don't replace Barrie, then all of a sudden you're sitting there being like, damn, wish we had Tyson Barrie on the blue line.
No. If you move Barrie, you definitely have to replace him. And they were talking about this on the Gregor show yesterday, which kind of made me smile a little bit. That if you did move Barrie, just say you moved him out for relatively nothing, just picks and stuff. If you went to the UFA market, the only right-handed guy out there right now is PK Subban.
But he did say that it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah, Struddy wasn't a big fan of it.
I think PK would be a fine fit in Edmonton.
PK was playing with a younger defenseman last year and they were just fine. I don't think he has the same. I don't know if, I think he's like toned down his bravado or whatever. That kind of the thing that people didn't like him in the dressing room.
Well, listen, if we got rid of Duncan Keith and his ability to hack ankles from behind when no one was looking, we should probably bring in a guy who is known for allegedly, in my opinion, slew footing guys when no one's looking.
We will just never, if they sign Subban, we'll just be like, what are people, dangerous trips?
You're
You're thinking of the other Subbans.
Yeah.
This is like European hockey. This is North American. It's supposed to be tough.
But anyways, that's a good point. Like Subban played a lot last year with the younger D-men in more of a top 4 role at times too, right? And here you'd be asking him to come in, probably play with a younger D-man in Broberg, but on a third pairing role where you could maybe shelter him a little bit.
And I think you'd have to like speak to him before and go, hey, listen, this is exactly what the role we're looking for. And for whatever reason, they said yesterday on the show that he's open to it. You had to be open to come in Edmonton.
I think, to be fair, PK would be open to going any one of the 32 teams.
I'm actually stunned he's even looking to play again. Like halfway through last year, I was kind of sitting there being like, like his play's declining a bit. He's made his money.
Yeah.
And he makes a lot of money off the ice. I thought he was going to go to ESPN. I thought he was going to be an analyst.
So last year in 77 games,
does he have any rings?
No rings.
Do you think
so? One more kick at the can. I mean, what? Yeah, you've gone this long. You know, what's the point? Like, go join this, and I don't want to call them a super team. Go join Leon and Connor and all those guys over there, and see what you can do for one more time.
Yeah.
So last year, 77 games, PK had 5 goals and 17 assists for 22 points.
Definitely not the PK that we were talking about 10 years ago, but maybe still a serviceable guy who's playing that third line minutes and eating a little 5-on-5 time that CC doesn't have to deal with. I think he played. I think they were saying yesterday he had a fair amount of PK time last year as well.
I'm surprised
PK
he's only 33 years old. For some reason, I thought he'd be older than that. He's one of those guys who's been around a long time.
He has, yeah. And always in the news, right? So we've been hearing about him for so long.
But he's also like, as a counter, I'm just thinking out loud now. If there's anybody who can just walk into a media role right now, it's probably PK.
PK. He was pretty much doing it in the playoffs.
So,
but
does he want to play or does he want to coast, I guess?
Yeah. So if you were to trade Fogel for nothing, okay, Holloway or someone takes that spot, you freed up $2.75 million. You can sign McLeod, and then you could maybe go get a guy like Sonny Milano or something, right? Like you can maybe add to that Fogel spot. Sure. If you were to trade Barrie for, just say it's a pick, Barrie for a pick, and you sign Subban for $1.5 million.
Yeah, they had him at 1 to 1.5. Yeah.
So you've now freed up $3 million.
Yep.
You have Fogel on the team still.
Yep.
Your blue line, I think, is the same. Like I think at 5-on-5, Subban and Barrie can give you comparable minutes. You could maybe sit there and be like, oh, you're losing something on the power play, but Bouchard can handle that. I'm sick of the debate that Bouchard can't handle on the power play. In the playoffs last year, there were games, Oilers down by a goal late, Bouchard on the ice, Oilers getting a power play against Colorado, Bouchard out first.
And whether people like it or not, Nurse can still go in there too.
Yeah. So I think there is a case. And again, this isn't a perfect world. This is me being a little armchair GM, but Barrie out, Subban in for 1.5, just for simple math, saves you $3 million. Fogel's still on your team. You have a bunch of forward competition.
You need McLeod still though.
Okay, you're signing McLeod for $1 million. You still have $2 million extra. Yep. You can save that money, use it at the deadline. You can go sign a Sonny Milano and all of a sudden you have a stacked forward group because there's third liners playing on the fourth line and guys that can score on the ice at all times. Like, I don't know. I just think the Barrie thing is probably the least realistic of Fogel, Puljujarvi, Barrie. It's probably in that order of realistic, but it's probably the one where if you played your cards right, you can make yourself the better team.
Yeah, I think you can just find a player who's going to play that third line right-handed minutes a little bit better than Barrie will. But at the same time, you know what? Barrie really stepped up in the playoffs last year. So maybe he's the type of guy who you kind of get through the regular season and when the playoffs are out, it's, chips are on the table and let's go.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I personally think I'd like to see another defenseman back there, but how do you make it fit? Maybe somebody leaves. I don't know.
I think you have to wait till the mid-season, but
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened either. I think that at the very least, very, very least, the Oilers are more than good enough to start the season the way they are right now.
This team right now wins the division.
I want to give a shout out to our friends at Cornerstone Insurance. Check them out at cornerstoneins.ca. All the products you could ever hope for in your life, auto, residential, commercial, life insurance. Citizens of Oilers Nation get themselves a discount. And if you listen to last week's Oilers Nation Radio, you heard a excellent review from Tyler Yaremchuk on the services provided by our friends at Cornerstone Insurance.
And I haven't crashed yet, so I haven't had to use the insurance, but it's nice to have it. And they were great to deal with. Shout out to my boy, Bill.
Cornerstoneins.ca. You can be a happy customer just like Tyler. Good. Of course. Excellent. Since we're talking contracts, may as well talk about the one that's signed down the road last night. Jonathan Huberdeau, after coming over in the trade for, what's that guy's name again? I can't remember. Matthew Tkachuk.
Keith.
Shout out to Keith Tkachuk. Huberdeau signed a monster deal last night with the Calgary Flames. 8 years, 10.5 million bones. A lot of salary bonus or signing bonus mixed in there as well. Tyler, I'll start with you down at the end of the table. Your first kind of reaction, thoughts to this Huberdeau contract?
My first reaction was like, hey, good for Calgary. Like, again, you traded Tkachuk, you made that big move, and I still think this deal could have looked good if they sold off Huberdeau and Uyghur at the deadline, but Brad Treliving is trying to keep his job to an extent, right? Like that's a big part of this year. And Huberdeau came top 3 in league scoring last season. I know he's never really put up numbers like that before, and he was playing with Barkov and all that, but he's still a legit impact player. $10.5 million is a lot of money. And the back end of that deal is not going to be great. It rarely ever is when you sign veteran free agents and guys of that sort of star status like Huberdeau is. But we know the cap at some point over the course of that 8-year, 7-year deal, whatever, is going to take a big jump up. And there's probably going to be a point towards the end when it's not aging well, when it's only 10% of your cap or 9% of your cap. I really think the cap could jump up that much in years 4, 5, 6, and 7 of this contract. So I understand why people look at that and go, who kicks in when he's 30? You're paying him till he's 37. Like, holy shit, that's a lot of money for an old guy. But think of what you're getting in the next 2-3 years of your Calgary. And if you're Brad Treliving and you lost Jonathan Huberdeau and you lost Mackenzie Uyghur, you probably lose your job as well. So Treliving was, again, similar to the trade, backed into a corner a little bit with what he could do because he's trying to keep this window open for the Flames. And he did exactly that. He accomplished his goal. He's keeping the window open for the team. So again, the people who want to jump all over this and talk about how shitty Calgary is, keep doing it because it's hilarious. And I love watching them get ripped. But in this case, I think the deal's okay.
Dan?
It feels like to me that other fan bases and the Flames fan base kind of forced this deal before it needed to happen.
Yeah.
That and your points about Treliving are just on the head, but it just feels like a guy made a deal for an extra couple schmil just to keep his head from rolling at the end of the season next year. Probably. And that's silly to me. And so, yes, I love it. As an Oilers fan, it's great. You got Huberdeau to replace Tkachuk and Gaudreau, and Uyghur makes your defense better. But their defense was already pretty good.
Yeah.
They've always struggled to score goals. So I don't know. It's for me as an Oilers fan, I love it. I'm happy to see it. And I don't think that the craziest part to me is that what if Huberdeau comes in and him and Lindholm don't click?
Yeah, but I think when you're trying to build like a bit more of a balanced top 6 like Calgary is, their depth down the middle, I guess, isn't good. Because that's a good point, Dan. Like if he doesn't click with Lindholm, you're playing with Backlund.
Yep.
And like Backlund is 33 now. His best days are behind him now.
So I asked
There's
the question,
risk, yeah.
why do you sign a guy to that kind of smoke before you even see him play a game in your jersey?
Maybe him and Sean Monahan click.
Yeah.
I had that thought just from a human level. From Huberdeau's perspective, I find it interesting. I guess maybe if I had that many zeros in front of me, I probably wouldn't care either. But just signing an extension, a max term extension on a place you've never really spent any time at all, I found that interesting.
Maybe he's a big fan of the mountains.
But people told him it's the best city in Canada.
That's just part of the UFA situation, though, right? Like you probably never played there before and you're taking your big ass contract. And like a lot of his money is in signing bonus, right?
Yes.
And I believe that goes back to where he lives, which is Florida. Therefore, there's no tax on that. So he's making a lot of money right there.
I'm not sure.
Am I talking to TD Bank over here? How do you know that? I didn't even know.
I read a tweet earlier today.
And Rick will do your taxes this year, by the way, everybody.
To answer your question, Tyler, I think that came out from his press conference this morning or his video chat this morning. He said that multiple players called and told him that Calgary is the best city in Canada.
Yeah, they raved about the Saddle Dome.
But Johnny Gaudreau said that Columbus is the best city.
Well, in Calgary, you're only 3 hours away from the mall, so.
That is true. Yeah, you can come up here and go check out the mall.
Look, I know if Oiler fans, we really can't say too much right now.
And there is a Nike outlet in that Chinook Center.
Oof.
That's a big draw.
Oof.
Well, next time we go down to Calgary, we need to check out the Chinook Center Nike outlet store.
We're going to leave at like 8 a.m. then.
Yeah.
It takes us long enough to get down there anyways.
Yeah, that is true. That's fine. For me, I just thought signing up Huberdeau, I was a little bit surprised that they didn't do it kind of in season. I thought they would at least kind of see how things went first.
Doesn't that scare you as a GM?
Yeah,
That puts
100%.
you right back in the Gaudreau situation.
100%. And I think that Treliving is fighting for his job. All of that is correct. I'm going to be really interested to see how he actually puts up points in Calgary. Different market, different pressure, horrible arena. He's not playing with Barkov.
There's no beach time. Look, it's a different game over here too, right? Like, I don't know what it's like over there and playing all those teams, but you're in Alberta, you're in the Pacific Division. The game's played differently out here. You just never dealt with all the travel.
He has been over, like people saying, like obviously 115 points is like career year stuff for him.
92 points 3 years ago.
But yeah, like he's been over a point a game 4 seasons in a row. Like, it's not like this guy was, a 40, 50 point guy, then like magically rode shotgun with Huberdeau and put up these godly numbers. Like, no, like
he is Huberdeau.
Sorry, Barkov. He is Jonathan Huberdeau. He's always riding shotgun.
He didn't play with Barkov all that much either. He was playing on that. However, at the same time, when you're not playing with Barkov, he's taken probably the bigger competition, which makes things a little bit easier for you.
Yeah. And the Panthers, their power play was really really good too. And all of that stuff.
But for people talking about the age and all that fun stuff, we are very close to having to re-sign Leon Draisaitl, who's going to be 28 years old at that point, and he's going to get an 8-year deal, and it's going to be 1 year short of 37 being 36, and we're going to give him all this money. So if you say the age and the fall off and all this stuff about the Huberdeau contract, well, guess what? We're in the same situation with Leon right away and Connor right after that.
Except that Leon Draisaitl has been in Edmonton Oilers for the previous 8 years of that.
Doesn't change the fact he's going to be 36 making $13 million.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's interesting. So I'm actually, the people saying riding shotgun with Barkov, I'm looking at who he played with the most last season.
Sam Steele and
Sam Bennett.
Sorry, it was Sam Bennett and I forget the other guy.
He spent, last year at 5-on-5, 607 minutes with Bennett as his centerman, 436 minutes with Anthony Duclair.
That's who it was.
And only 200 minutes with Barkov. So he mainly played with Bennett and Duclair. He wasn't with Barkov all that much, which is interesting.
But you do get the secondary competition at that point, right?
Yeah.
And he's definitely not getting that now.
But that brings up a great point with Leon Draisaitl. We still have 3 more years of this guy at 8.5. What a fucking bargain of a deal that is now. I still laugh and think, because at the time it was like, ooh, a little bit of an overpay. Can you imagine if they would have gotten him at the time for like 7.5?
They could have signed
him. They got him to the Pasternak deal that was signed right after.
They could have got him the year before at like less than 7, because that's when Barkov went for his whatever, right? It would have been essentially the same contract.
But yeah, like Leon Draisaitl as a 29-year-old unrestricted free agent, that dude's going to get some smoke.
13, 14 million? 13?
Probably.
13, probably.
Like McKinnon's probably going to set the market at 15.
Which will have to stay there till Connor's contract. I don't see anybody getting it. I guess Matthews will be up in between.
Old Austin is up here right away.
Oh, fuck.
He's only got 2 years left on his deal.
Oh, yeah.
Is it 2 years?
Hey, he's signed for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Signed for like a 3-course entree. He's like, I'll stick around for a little bit, I suppose.
I know I saw Frank Saravalli said he would be shocked if Austin leaves Toronto. But What's it going to cost though? Because that dude is going to rip.
If you're
They're already in contract.
You're Matthews and you see just how beautiful that arena is on the ASU campus. I'm just not sure how you could stay away.
Let's talk about that arena for a second.
Sure.
I would love to go to a game there.
But you're also very happy. You're also very happy that it's a different city's team.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like I wouldn't want to go be watching my team at home in an arena that you're not allowed to play on weekends or even have your own logo on the ice. But like, I feel like as an Oilers fan, if we went down there for an Oilers game, that'd be so much fun.
So do they just use like a light and just keep it on the whole time?
I think they are going to have their logo somewhere on the ice. I just think the report got like misconstrued because I think it was like, they can't do it without ASU's approval. But I'd have a hard time believing ASU is going to be like, no, go fuck yourself.
We swap it out with the Oil Kings, don't we? We swap ours with the Oil Kings, right?
No, the Oil Kings don't get their logo on the ice till
the playoffs?
Till the Oilers are out.
Oh, okay.
Though ASU has already said they can't play on weekends for like the first 3 months of the season. So like, would that be that surprising?
And every player has to be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Just in their dorm room. That doesn't be in bed yet. Lights out by 10:30.
Yeah, if they catch you. Forget about it.
Oh, the jokes of this is going to be. How many years of this do we get? 3?
I don't know. They got to like build a whole new arena.
Yeah, they still have to build a new city too, don't they?
I just think it'd be great to go see a game there. When would you get a chance to see an NHL game in an arena?
Never, hopefully. Hopefully.
Here's my problem with going to that game though, is the cost of the ticket for the top of the 5,000 seat stadium versus the bottom of it is not that different. Right? It's $300 to sit at the top of the section and it's $325 to be on front row.
Yeah, but it's 300. It's like sitting in the top of our first bowl.
Great seats no matter what.
Yeah.
All expensive.
No matter
every single one.
They're $300 per.
It's something outrageously high.
Guarantee you on the secondary market, there'll be cheap tickets.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All those poor people buying season tickets and I can't go to this game. What am I going to resell them for? Going down to $75, like
$48.50 in fees.
A couple of hot dogs involved. Like, yeah, I have a pack of hot dogs you can take with you too. There you go.
They have to have like some sort of deal that's like students, like every game we release 200 student tickets or something.
Do you think buy Arizona State season tickets, you get Coyotes?
Dude, do you think you have to like, if you have a student ticket, do you have to show your student ID?
Or could we get
or could student tickets like turn around and start selling their tickets?
Oh, can you imagine?
They're getting all these free student tickets and they're turning around and selling them for $200 a pop. Hell yeah, that's a hell of a deal.
Oh, I can't. I'm trying to look at if I can buy some tickets right now on the podcast. Can't. 404 errors.
Yeah, they're trying to register their students right now. They don't have the place for this.
Let's see if I can get this one here.
This talk about Draisaitl reminds me of a question I wanted to float your guys' way.
Hang on.
Float it.
Oh, you're still
No, go for it. Yeah, I'm working on something from Rick and I over here.
Making a pack here.
Yep. You were designing your own shoes. I'm designing my own Arizona Coyotes ticket pack.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
I can't see pricing.
So what's the Leon? What's the Leon situation?
We're talking about Leon, right? Like I think everyone would agree he's probably the biggest value contract on the Oilers, $8.5 million.
Easily.
How many Oilers would you say are overpaid for what they bring to the team?
Oh, how dare
And
you.
how many Oilers would you say are underpaid for what they bring to the team?
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins underpaid by half. Thoughts?
He was going to be one of my guys I threw in the overpaid category.
He didn't have a great year last year.
No. And like, you know, if Nuge was making 4.125, you probably feel a lot better about what he brings to the table. 5.125 is like a little rich for that.
Or if he's just back at his normal production, then you're probably like, oh, it's
But he does a lot of non-offensive stuff too.
Yeah. And that's fair. Like he, you know, kills penalties and all that stuff. So it's not like the most egregious overpay. Again, like even 500,000 cheaper, I think you'd hear a lot less complaints about it. Plus you wanted to keep that guy as an Oiler for life. So like it makes sense.
Darnell Nurse is overpaid.
Yeah.
I'll just get that one out of the way.
Nurse is the big one, right? Because that contract, you'd like to see it 2.5 cheaper, 2 million cheaper, like 7.25.
Yeah.
2 bridges cheaper.
Wow. One bridge.
Well, that was the issue.
Bridge, right?
Well, so that's like we're talking about Evan Bouchard before. Like they need to learn some of those lessons based on what just happened with Darnell Nurse.
The only thing is they won't have that flat cap for fucking 6 years after you bridge Bouch for 2.
I would do 8 years on Bouch now.
Yeah, but I don't think you can. You're going to find a lot of money in there.
Yeah, you got to make it work. Somebody's got to go
next year.
Well, figure it out.
And Nurse hasn't played 1 year at 9.25 yet either, by the way.
No, he hasn't. And I mean, again, if he gives them top pairing minutes, and people need to forget what he did in the playoffs because he was
hurt, man.
Walking around with a peg leg, more or less. Like,
the regular human being had the same injury, and to go from one side of the hospital to the other side, he needed a wheelchair.
Yeah, like it's wild.
And Darnell's out there playing 30 minutes, and everybody wants to sit here and go
about Dakin?
Yeah, and everybody wants to sit here and rip apart Nurse for this stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And shout out our friend Travis Dakin.
And where I was going to this, like Nurse overpaid. You know, Tyson Barrie isn't overpaid. He's just, the Oilers don't need to spend that money on him because of Bouchard, right? So I wouldn't call him overpaid. You could maybe argue Jack Campbell, but we haven't seen him here, so it's hard to say he's overpaid. When you look at this team, it's actually really interesting. Like Connor McDavid is underpaid.
Way.
Leon Draisaitl is underpaid.
Way.
Zach Hyman for now is market value.
Yep.
Evander Kane could be a bargain.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yamamoto's a good deal. Puljujarvi's a good deal. So Fogle, I guess, like
Fogle overpaid.
It's really impressive.
And even that's not by a bunch.
No, not crazy.
Like maybe $1 million.
They had to go the buyout route, right? So that's maybe the trade-off is you look at this team, you go, there aren't really a lot of bad contracts right now. And then you look and see Neal and Secker on buyout and you go, okay, well, that's the trade-off, right? You have some dead money on your buyouts, but the contracts you have are all relatively freshly signed and you don't have a lot of bad deals there. But I just thought it was interesting.
This town, unfortunately, is going to hork off the hell out of Nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's just this town. I think other fan bases are doing the same thing.
I don't care what other fan
But we
bases
just have to do the same thing back to them and just compare everybody to Draisaitl. Compare every contract to Draisaitl's.
Daryl's contract is thick.
But he was top 7 in Norris 2 years ago.
He was up there, yeah. Like people forget he had a great season.
And then last year he was with Bouch for a lot of it, right? So you're kind of just bringing along the kid.
He was hurt at the end of the year. Like,
give him a full season with a quality with CC with a quality partner who can do his own thing, and Dave Manson out there, and let's see what he can do.
Because a little bit of his scoring touchback.
He can get himself to 8.5 type of player. And I don't think that's asking too much. I don't think it's too out of the realm of thinking.
No. And again, the thing you need to remember when you look at these contracts, again, fully acknowledging that, yes, he's overpaid, but you're buying UFA years off the guy. Like that is expensive.
And you might be doing this in order to keep Connor and Leon at the end of it.
It's probably part of it. But, Darnell Nurse is the 7th highest paid defenseman in the NHL. He's probably not, or no, I can say that he isn't a top 10 D-man in the NHL.
Top 15?
I wouldn't have him top 15. But he's, if every team has one top pairing guy, he's a top 30 D-man in the NHL. I think you could maybe say if he has a bounce back season, he's a top 25 guy, pushing a top 20. But there's no denying he's overpaid.
And he can eat the minutes in the top 5.
Yeah. And he can eat minutes. And that's really all you need from him, right? Like as much as it'd be great, you don't need a big point producer on the back end who's going to score you 80, 90 points. Like you just need someone who's going to eat your minutes for you, right? Like let Connor and Leon do their thing.
He's still going to get 40 points.
Everyone sits there and compares him to Makar. And Makar is just such a defensive unicorn right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like it's stupid. Like anybody wants to sit there and go, whoa, Makar, you're an idiot. Stop it. This is not a fair.
Compared to
Makar. That's it.
Him and Connor should be like,
Yeah, they're like in his position. He has all these silly tools that nobody else has. All these silly tools.
Yeah, absolute freak. That kid, absolute freak.
Mm-hmm.
Why was the point of the exercise just kind of the Oilers are in a pretty good shape? Is that what you were kind of thinking, Tyler?
Yeah, I think so. Like outside of Darnell Nurse, there really isn't a contract that you could have like a big complaint about, and that's good, especially when you look again. Like the Calgary Flames are still paying Milan Lucic $5 million. Granted, the Oilers are also paying him $750,000.
I would happily pay for him to be a Calgary Flame.
Yeah. And you just kind of go
especially that price.
You go through a lot of teams and it's like, ooh, ugly contract there. Ooh, really ugly contract there. Like in Buffalo's going to be paying Jeff Skinner $9 million for another 5 seasons. That's bananas.
Like the Tyler Seguin one in Dallas. Not great.
Like, yeah, that's ugly too. Like Sagan and Ben basically being like fringe top 6 wingers or top 6 forwards and making oh God, I shouldn't have signed myself up for this math.
Yeah, let's go.
19.3 $3.5 million.
He easily could have said 19-ish.
Yeah, 19-ish. I would have accepted the ish.
Now you're going to have all sorts of people.
Right. No, he's 100% right.
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to have all sorts of people on Twitter like double checking this.
You mentioned as a guy for the Oilers who could be a little bit oversigned, but we don't know because we haven't seen him, is Jack Campbell. I just want to ask you guys, what do you think is an appropriate split for Jack Campbell?
Games-wise?
Yeah. His career high so far is 49 games played. That was last year with Toronto. So he's our starter. He's here.
52 games. 52 games for him, 30 for Skinner. I think that's a really, really nice number.
Yeah, I was going to say nothing more than 60, hopefully.
No.
I think anything over 50 and you've probably had him starring for you, not just, playing well.
Good.
That's the
Yeah, I mean, if you get to 60, it's most likely because he's on fire.
I am so not looking forward to because it will come at some point next season. Campbell will have 2 bad games.
Yep.
And Skinner will come in. And if Skinner plays well, he'll have let's say Skinner has 5 good games. Some point next season, we're having the conversation
Trade
of
Campbell.
Well, why did you even sign Campbell? What a waste. You could have put a good veteran with Skinner. And all the people who shit on Mike Smith for 2 years will suddenly be like, I could have just gotten a good vet for $2 million and put him with Skinner,
It's Smitty that hurt. Come on, guys.
I think this is a great situation for Skinner.
Great. Fantastic.
He comes in. There's a guy who's going to shoulder the bulk of the games. He can learn. By all accounts, Jack Campbell is a sweetheart of a man.
Mm-hmm.
How could that not be a great tandem?
Yeah. And again, it's just we maybe haven't been in this spot for a while, since
a long while,
where we go and pay a goalie to be a number 1 for us.
Were you
Abby Boulin?
That's not. I mean, he was a free agent. He was the same age as Rolly was,
and he had just taken the Blackhawks to I believe the conference finals.
I mean, Mikko kind of got paid to be our number 1.
Yeah,
but true. Everyone knew that he was never going to be a number 1, right? The money was there, but the expectations were never there on Mikko. And when he failed, it was just kind of God, fuck this team with Mikko. Why did they sign him? But with Campbell, it'll be a different mindset because I think the expectation and the money is saying this guy should be your number 1.
When they signed Mikko, was he was with Talbot at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then Talbot got traded for Anthony Stolars,
who's now actually a pretty good goalie in Anaheim, which is weird.
Sweet. We couldn't even retain his rights because they didn't play him enough. Good times.
What a conversation that was when there was 3 games left in the regular season. And we were just play it, or you could have retained his rights if they just played him once.
Yep.
And it was we're out of the playoffs. Just keep his rights.
Yeah.
And the others were throw Mikko again.
Let's go with it.
Yeah. We don't need to retain a guy's rights, even if you don't want to sign him down the line, but having the option, we don't need it. We don't need it. All right. Well, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. Thankfully, it's time to pivot. Montana's Ask the Idiots. Yesterday, we went and did real life at a Montana's location at South Edmonton Common. I ate so many ribs. And
we ate 10 racks between 4 of us.
Was that what it was?
Yes, sir.
I didn't eat when I went home last night. I ate so many ribs and I hashtag get Montana's messy. I did. I got Montana's full. I got Montana's full too.
I did too. It was so good.
I'm impressed that you guys were able to go shopping and stuff afterwards. I went directly home and laid on the couch.
I was not that far behind you because eventually I did just plant my... Actually, no, that's a lie. I went golfing last night.
Yeah, I got home and took the dog for a walk. So I had to walk off some of that delicious meat.
That's good. No, that's smart.
So Montana's, if you don't know, all you can eat ribs. What else do you need to know?
And just for the record, they're baby back ribs. So these are top of the line.
Get Montana's messy. That is the hashtag to use if you're on social media. You can win weekly prizes from Montana's. I recommend you go. We had a great time last night. The sides were good.
French
cornbread was lovely.
Cornbread. Mm-hmm.
Come on. Get Montana's messy with us. Check them out. Montana's Barbecue on Twitter and Instagram. If you don't know about Ask the Idiots, you guys submitted questions over the last week. The boys have not seen them. I'm going to read them out and we will get everybody's first reaction. Good? Of course. I'm going to start with Rick. With all signs pointing to Bouchard now being number 1 defensive option on D, or offensive option on D, I should say. Sorry. What do you project his point total will be for the upcoming year? And what would you say for a next contract? So that's a 2-part question on Bouchard.
What did he get last year for points?
40 something. I'll give you that 1 second.
So I think he'll have a little boost. So let's call him 50 to 55 points.
So last year in 81 games played, he had 43 points.
Yeah, so I think with the majority of the power play, because he did not get majority of the power play last year, and that shot that just kind of finds its way through, I think 55 points is more than reasonable. So let's call it 55 points. And I honestly believe that just with everything out there, it's going to have to be a 2-year contract, and it's going to be probably 3 to 4-ish.
Nation Dad, how many points for Dad? And what does that next contract look like?
Well, for me, it's hard because we haven't seen a full year of Woodcroft yet. So I don't know if he's trusts Bouchard fully yet. In the past, I would say that I could still see Nurse taking a lot of his reps there. And if Barry's on this team, still taking some of the reps. But with Woodcroft in place, I'll say he breaks the 50-point mark. When it comes to the contract afterwards, I don't know. It's a tough thing because we said he had arb rights, right?
Yeah.
So what does that put him at for a starter conversation? It's like
200,000 a point or 100,000.
Yeah.
A point,
So
right?
you're probably looking at
a $5 million.
If I'm saying he's 50-point guy, then 2.5. Yeah, I could see that for a couple years. I could see them bridging again.
They just can't give him that big one quite yet. Just we need that cap to go up first, and he'll understand.
Taylor Yamchuk, points protection.
I think you'll get more
contract.
I think you'll get more power play time next year. I think you'll have a bit of a bigger role. The Woodcroft thing will help. Just a young player maturing a little bit too. That always, that could lead to a bump, although players don't always develop in straight lines. But still, he had 43 points last year, 12 goals, 31 assists. So I will say 16 goals and 40 assists for 56 points. And his next contract, they'll go long term, 8 years by 5.25.
I'm going to say
he probably wouldn't sign that.
I was gonna say, do you think he signs that?
No, it'd probably be. I could see them doing like 5 years by 4.5, maybe. Right? Like
I still think it's like 2 till the raise goes up, and then he gets his big one.
Maybe.
I'm going to say 50 plus points, and I'm going to say 8 by 5. 8 by 5. It's coming.
Oh, it'd be so nice. It'd be nice.
It'd be beautiful.
Then when Bouchard's popping home 60 plus points for the next half a decade, the Oilers are sitting there just laughing.
I was gonna say, what kind of defensemen are getting paid $5 million right now, though?
Not a lot of good ones.
That's why you got to go. Do it now. Tell him, Dad, you can take care of your family forever.
So in that range, if we were to do it, players who signed as RFAs for that kind of money.
Too.
Well, and this is where it's just going to be so tough because if Bouchard explodes this season, the Oilers are going to be in a world of hurt. Like Zach Werenski got $9.5 million. McAvoy, 9.5. Forget Makar and Fox are on a different level, but he's probably Provorov got 6.75. Josh Morrissey got 6.25. Matt Dumba got 6. These are all guys who signed as RFAs.
8 by 6.
I'll give him Dumba Morrissey money in a second.
I think it'd have to be 8 by 6 then if you're going to go long term with him. That's a big ticket, but damn.
But there's no way you don't see him being a $6 million player, especially when the cap goes up.
100%.
Yep.
I could honestly see, I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid now. It is delicious. It is Kool-Aid season. I could see Bouchard turning into a Mike Green type producer.
Yep.
You have to explain that for some of the younger kids here.
If you don't know who Mike Green was, first of all, long time Oiler great. We'll remember him always.
2 games, 120 minutes. I
did see the second game he played in Vegas. He did get hurt that game, but I was there. But once upon a time, Mike Green was a point per game defenseman for the Washington Capitals
and the Detroit Red Wings.
So I could see Dad being that guy. Question number, what was that? The first one?
Yep.
Question number 2. Daniel.
Yes.
We're going to Toronto next week.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you think that if you stood on top of the CN Tower and threw a baseball that you could land it inside of the Rogers Center?
Someone did the math on this. I think it was Sean McKenzie.
I have an answer.
Oh yeah.
I
Like on the needle, like on the top of it or just on the viewing
I don't know.
the viewing deck.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
not
not that far away from Rogers.
I have no idea how far
It is.
away
They're
it is.
pretty much right next to each other.
Yeah.
No, they're
So I think with the height, yeah, I'd say you could. I say I could. I believe in me. I would arc a rainbow.
Can you throw it over the river too?
I cannot.
So I think the issue would be that at some point, gravity pulls it down, and even if you threw a rainbow, you'd get some distance, then it would fall.
Yeah.
But someone answered this on TikTok.
Do they? No, I was like, do they do it? No, you can't do that. They get in trouble.
That'd be murder. That's attempted murder. Oh,
You have.
So what we've got here is
get attacked.
If anybody here says they can't do it, I'm going to look down at them.
So what I'm seeing right here is a 170 meters there. I've got Google Maps open. We've got 170 meters. That's a walk. It's right there.
They're right next to each other.
I'm going to say guaranteed I do it.
Yes, no problem.
You might overshoot it.
Yeah, exactly. I may have to underhand it.
But I think Tyler's right. I think gravity would kick in at some point and it would just...
Well, it's obviously, but I don't think it's... If you have enough velocity on it going...
Yeah, it's not like it's going to... It's not like it's going to take a straight drop.
Okay, so some people on Reddit like did the math.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to read it with the math?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we'll understand it.
Okay, so if we throw it at a straight horizontal, we can find the time to hit the ground ignoring air resistance by insert this formula.
Yeah.
So the ball takes 8.3 seconds to reach the ground. The required horizontal speed is, again, ignoring air resistance, 200 meters per 8.3 seconds, which is equal to 24 meters per second or 53.6 miles per hour. That's pretty fast for an average person, but an athlete like me could
56,
do that.
I disagree. I don't think that's that much gas.
56 miles an hour?
53.6 miles per hour.
53 point. I'll go to K-Days right now and fucking pump that gun. I'll double that.
Double that.
112. He's going to throw a 112.
Get signed by a major league team because of a bet on a podcast. That's awesome.
Anyway.
So I don't know. Yeah.
It's tough.
Listen,
But it's hard.
throwing at a direct horizontal
I'm not
is
throwing it
almost
direct horizontal.
Dude, it's almost impossible.
But that's, but I mean, that's the way that
I'm
you
throwing
make
up.
the math work though, right?
Well, no, I think you can find a regular.
Does the math suggest yes, though? Is that the point of this nerdery?
I think so.
Well, just scroll to the bottom to say yes or no.
That's throwing straight out from you from the top of the CN tower. So yes, because nobody throws like that. Everybody would be throwing it like at least a 45-degree angle. Right?
Well, I mean, yeah, usually throw has some elevation on it.
Yeah.
Is there room for a crow hop?
I don't think there is. I think
There's room for a crow hop. I've been up there. It's not a big one. You might be a little worried by the time you get to the when you follow through.
You have to be attached by a cable just to make sure.
Someone's in front of you holding, make sure you don't fall. It's terrifying up there, by the way, you guys. Like, I really hope you guys do it. And you have to do the walk on the glass floor.
I'll do that.
I'll tell you this right now. Like, you're a little bit hesitant. So you're kind of like, there's a bit of a frame and down the middle. So you kind of like walking on that at first, taking some deep breaths. And then you see like some 7-year-old beside you coming, like they're coming. They're like, they're as hard as they can, just trying to jump through it. And you're like, what the
Yeah.
are you doing, kid? Like, get the hell out of here.
Kids are menaces.
I was just in the stratosphere last week and it's 700 feet shorter than the CN tower. So same thing. I was up there and I did hug the wall initially.
I walked on the glass and you figure that part out. But yeah, these kids out there trying to, just like jump right through it. You're like, what are you doing, man?
I get like queasy just standing at the base of the CN tower and looking up.
Oh, do not look up. And the elevator, I believe, is it's glass. So you just like, as you just watch. It's not, that part's not that bad because you go so fast and you can't really look down just the way it goes. So you just look, that part wasn't that bad. When you get outside though and you start looking down, that's another story.
I want to go up there when we're in Toronto.
It's expensive.
You have to. I don't think, actually, I don't remember. I was there a long time.
I want to say it's like $40-$50 just to go up.
Well, then I'll go up there for $40 or $50 and mentally confirm my belief in myself that I could throw a ball from the CN tower into the Rogers Center.
Sure. Fair.
Take some photos.
Yeah. Like I would even just be like, oh, my arm angle's perfect. 53 miles an hour. Get the fuck out of here.
Security guard tackles you because he thinks you're throwing an actual ball.
I think a part of the debate too, and again, I can't find the Twitter thread. I just looked for it, but it was like, could you not only get it into the stadium, but is there enough gas for you to like get it to second base? Like, could you throw someone out at second?
You need a friendly roll.
Not with any semblance of accuracy. No, that's silly.
No, but like the distance wise,
I couldn't even throw it from left field to second base.
Fair.
That's fair.
That's also your finger got jammed up.
It's pretty hurt. It's pretty hurt.
That is actually really hurt. That is very
purple.
That is
thick.
Purple.
She's pretty thick these days. Mm-hmm. Don't stop line drives straight on with your finger. Get jammed
you
up.
should use, I think on the other hand, you have this. It's like a glove.
Bunch of leather.
I think you're supposed to use that one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I should bring my mitt then to the Jays game. Eh, Tyler?
You got a new glove. You didn't want to use it.
We are I have a Nike glove actually. Crazy enough. And I didn't want to use it.
I'm going to be bringing my mitt just in case. I got to protect my boy Tyler.
We are sitting out in a home run patio. We believe Matt Chapman.
The Matt Chapman dinger is coming right to me.
I like that.
Chappie's been dropping them in that little area where there's no fans though.
Oh yeah. I can't wait till we talked about it last week, but I can't wait till they do the renos and there's fans all the way around. That'll be fun. I also, like Dan said before we started recording, I wish that the bullpens were raised so we could yell at some pitchers.
Well, if you're going to be, if I can just picture where you guys are, they should be right underneath you.
We can still yell at them. They just may not acknowledge us.
Now, here's my question. Do you guys want to be on the side by the Jays or the opposition?
Oh, you got the opposition.
Exactly. You want to,
We're the opposition.
We went to a Riverhawks game a couple weeks ago and I was definitely, my chirps are A+ right now. So
You haven't lost anything?
No, not at all.
So question 2, ask the idiots for our friends at Montana's. Yes, we can throw a baseball from the CN Tower.
Everybody's saying yes, by the way.
Although, Tyler, did you give an answer? Could you do it?
Could I throw a ball?
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
53.6
miles an hour.
Folk Fest with chairs on their backs
that's
instead
Jay.
of backpacks.
Jay's going to Folk Fest.
Jay is enjoying
Should we yell at him?
Yeah.
Open the window, say
Open
hi.
the window. He's doing a
Are those
portage.
actual back-to-pack chairs?
Oh yeah. Well,
Wow.
they make a whole system. Like this is not their first time. They do this every year.
No.
Wow. Do I remember the time when they had intern Chris camp out to get tickets?
Yeah, I remember that too.
Fun, Jay.
Did you tell them we're on a podcast right
No
now?
idea. It's us.
He waved.
He's waving.
There it goes. Enjoy Folk Fest, everybody. If you're out there, everybody's going to have a good time. Folk Fest.
Yeah, I think the weather is kind of swapped for them. Earlier this week, it looked like it's going to pour all day today,
Yeah.
but
Really?
I think it's going to be okay.
Question number 3, ask the idiots for our friends at Montana's.
Montana.
Yeah, of course, we are Get Montana's Messy. That's what we're talking about. Tyler, I'm going to start with you. Which prospect in the Oilers system currently do you think will have the biggest impact within the next 3 years?
Toss up. I'm thinking.
And I'm going to amend the question a little bit. Like a guy like Bouchard, who played a full year last year, he's off the table.
I'll go ahead and I'll say Dylan Holloway. I think if he finds his footing in the NHL, he could be a nice top 6 piece or even a guy who drives offense on the third line. So Holloway's my answer.
I like that. Nation Dan.
What was the question? Sorry.
Which prospect that was not a regular last year, that was my amendment, will have the biggest impact within the next 3 years?
I feel like Marcus Niemelainen is going to come into this lineup at some point and just be our gator and just be our solid shutdown defenseman. I don't know. I just like his physicality. I think Woodcroft likes him as a player. So Marcus Niemelainen is my answer.
Good answer.
Rick?
You know what? I honestly think it's going to be Xavier Borgo. I think he's going to get 1 year in the AHL this year. And depending on what they do with the right-handers coming in next year, he could easily find himself a spot in the top 6.
I also agree. I think it's going to be Xavier Borgo. The right side is not as deep. The kid's got some skill. He can score.
Well, he's got that natural scoring talent that we don't really have right now on the right side.
Again, the memes are going to be great. We need him to shave his head so that the Professor X things can all work. We got some work to do there with Borgo.
How about Yamamoto saying that the team's aware we call Bouchard dad?
That is sweet. So yesterday on the Jason Gregor show, Gregor asked him, "Are you aware that Oilers fans call him dad?" And
Nuge knows you. Fogel knows your Chuck. Like it's very apparent. They know who everybody. They know this company. They see. They read. They pay attention somehow. They know.
That's frightening.
I would love to know how much Nugent Hopkins is aware of me. Like I know he is.
Sign that photo.
He signed a 2-bag milk photo, so obviously.
Yeah,
but like, how much?
Well, I don't know if he
how much
pays attention.
Nuge, do you know how much I duck the pressure from you, bro?
Do you think he's searching your government Facebook and stuff?
He's got.
No, you can't fucking find that thing. That is locked down.
Well, come on, he's part of the Oilers. He can find something.
He can't find shit.
He's got
For
Kate's
sure.
guys on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nuge, you just slide into my DMs, bro. I'll just give you my number. We can just text. Could you imagine by the end of the contract, me and Ryan Nugent Hopkins, we just go out for coffee and shit?
Why not?
I can
Talk
see it
horses. You're at the you're gonna have to polish
I'll
up
have to
your
learn about
horses.
horses.
Yeah.
Is that all the questions?
Yep. So
Tyler wants to
I
go
could
home.
talk about the horse's action, which is the way that the horse moves. I'm learning from equine terminology.
Some furlongs.
Mm-hmm. We can talk about his just how he enjoys a good canter. A little trot. Why are you looking at me like that over there?
I don't know.
Could you see you both riding a horse down a trail or something?
Of course, my arms wrapped around his tummy.
I honestly had him on 2 separate horses. I didn't have you on the same.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Me too. Yeah. Of course.
He's got him on the same horse. They're both shirtless like Putin.
Yeah.
You just served that one up and bag milk just spiked it right
of
down.
course. 2 horses. Yeah. There you go. So submit your questions, Ask the Idiots, for our friends at Montana's. Get Montana's messy. Tyler, next weekend you are where?
In Toronto.
Or no, this weekend I should say.
This weekend.
Sorry, this weekend.
2 days from now.
I forgot it's Friday.
You're in Rundle Park.
This Sunday I'm going to Rundle Park because
what are you doing there?
There's a Montana's food truck that's doing like a tour across Western Canada. So I think myself and Waz will be there like right around noon. Going to be trying some ribs, doing all that good stuff. Haven't had enough of their fantastic ribs. So yeah, anyways, doing that Sunday. You can join me, Rundle Park. I'll be there noon. Come say hi.
Once again, Tyler will be getting Montana's messy. Use
Will I be there in the Nation truck?
Maybe.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah, where is it today?
It's going to an event out at the racetrack this week.
I do like that one of the first days you had it, you drove over a screw.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
That high off the ground, how the hell are you supposed to see it?
Exactly.
Well, yeah. We was that on the podcast yesterday? Was it recorded? Jay talking about the $3 wash yesterday in real life?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I say it was a bunch of bullshit.
We need content out of this. Okay. This has been going on for like 3 or 4 years.
3 years.
We need to do it. So sometime in the next, before September, before the hockey season starts, we're going to grab Jay. We're going to force him to do this. I'll provide the loonies. You guys bring the cameras.
Oh, easy.
And we'll go and we'll get it done.
I'll have some. Well, we don't even need that many loonies, apparently.
Well, 3.
Although yesterday he was ducking. Did you notice that?
Well, yeah, he was talking inflation. He might need a 4th. To be fair, I don't think they took seconds off your loonies here.
I don't know. According to him, they do. We'll see. All right, Tyler, time to get your buttons ready for Ask the Idiots for our friends at Twig and Berries. If you go to twigandberries.ca.
This is hot and cold, not to Ask the Idiots.
What did I just say?
Ask the Idiots.
All right. Well, I'm the idiot in this case. Hot and cold performers for our friends at Twig and Berries. Twigandberries.ca. Use the promo code NATION15. Get a discount on your order. And they've got their fun little spinner thing back. I'm going to give it a spin right now. Let's go.
Spin it.
Oh, I'm already.
Spin it.
Didn't want to let me. I'll spin later. Last week, 10% discount. You take that all the time.
Nice.
We start off with our veggies every week on Hot and Cold Performers. I'm going to kick things off. My Twig and Berries Cold Performer of the Week is the fucking Nike outlet store at South Edmonton Common. Both Tyler and I went in there. We were looking for fresh kicks. We were looking for fresh wares. And what did they have? Nothing.
Except this hoodie I bought.
The hoodie does look good.
We said this at the table. Like he wants to go. I was like, dude, they have nothing. I know they don't. So he did this to himself.
Although Tyler did buy a nice hoodie. I also bought a nice hoodie, but I was there for shoes. And the shoes I wanted were not there.
They're terrible.
That's why Tyler had to go onto the Nike website, design his own shoes for close to $200
$2,000.
He's got his own signature on them.
They are Tyler's version of Yeezys, but they're Nikes. Go ahead. So Nike Outlet Store, South Edmonton Common Edition. You get my cold performer of the week.
That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Thank you. Tyler Yaremchuk, your Twig and Berries cold performer of the week.
Yeah. My cold performer of the week. We're going out to the world of baseball where the news came this week that Vin Scully passed away. All-time legend, not just in baseball, but in like all of sports. I mean, that guy's called some iconic moments. If you're a Jays fan, he called that Joe Carter home run that won them the World Series. If you ever want to fall down just a great rabbit hole, just Google or YouTube Vin Scully best stories. And the way he was able to weave storytelling into a broadcast and not miss a beat was just unbelievable. So rest in peace, Vin Scully. That's my cold performer this week.
I was actually going to say that. So I did exactly that. I was on YouTube the other day and just Vin Scully's best. He would be telling a story, a full-on story, and not miss a pitch.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
There's this one story he tells about how Cardinals manager Mike Matheny met his wife in college and only sat next to her in a class because when he was walking to class the first time, a bird shit on his shoe and he had to go back and change, was late for class, only seat open was next to his future wife. And the way he tells the story is like, and while Matheny was walking across the campus, 2-1 pitch outside. It's great, man. Like it's so entertaining to listen to him talk. Anyways, baseball world, sports world, I miss Vin Scully.
100%. Nation Dan, your Twig and Berries cold performer of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say Vin Scully as well.
Do you want to say the Nike Outlet Store?
Yeah. There's something about baseball when it's being described to you, and Vin Scully made the game of baseball beautiful when he spoke.
Oh yeah.
And so for me, the loss of Vin Scully is just one of those things when the voices of our childhood, the voices of the sport that we grew up loving, go away. It sucks. And so, again, I'm just going to double down and say Vin Scully. The loss of Vin Scully is my cold performer of the week.
Written. You're supposed to press the button.
He's mad because I doubled up.
Cold.
Yeah, man.
Rick, your Twig and Berry's cold performer of the week.
I'm sticking with baseball, and this is a little bit. I'm sure there's some people that think it's the worst thing, and I think there's a lot of people that think it's kind of funny. It happened last night. The LA Angels, 7 home runs in one game, all single shots.
Really?
Yeah.
Just smashing dingers, eh?
Yeah. And they lose 8-7.
Oh my God.
7 solo home runs and they lose 8-7.
Man, that blows.
Like you got Shohei, you've got Trout.
Shohei
there.
hit 2.
That, I mean, how, I don't know how those guys just hand in their contracts. Say, you know what? I'm out. Just send me somewhere else, please. That's honestly, that's terrible.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Imagine if the Oilers for like
Connor and Leon both get hat tricks.
Well, like, so we're in year 6 of McDavid, heading into year 7. Imagine if we were year 11 of McDavid and Draisaitl was on the scene and was like better than McDavid. Like you basically had 2 of iconic generational players and you're in year 11 and you haven't made the fucking playoffs.
And you just signed Ty Ratty for the 14th time.
Yeah,
to
like
be their winger.
Mike
That's
Trout's
pretty
been
much what they're
around
doing.
that long.
It's
about
Trout's
11
been around
years,
a long
yeah.
time.
absolutely insane that they've been handed 2 Connor McDavids, and this is what they're doing.
So what's the problem? Like real quick.
It's like,
What's the Coles note?
just straight up incompetence. Like they never spend on pitching for some reason. And then when they do, the pitchers are always junk. But like they went and paid Anthony Rendon $350 million. And everyone from the moment it was signed was like, hey, you need pitchers. And they're like, nah, we're going to give Rendon. And now Rendon's like junk. They went and gave Pujols all that money. And everyone was like, hey, you need pitchers. And they're like, nah, we're going to sign Pujols. It's just, they're incompetent.
We'll score 7 home runs a game. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Ah,
That is
shit.
wild. I think about Shohei a lot, actually, just because he's a freak.
And he deserves
really
so
is.
much better.
Like he would be, do you not think he would be a monster celebrity athlete if he played for like the
Yankees.
Dodgers or the Yankees?
That's what I was going to say. It's not even he deserves so much better. It's baseball fans deserve
Yeah.
so much better. Right?
Yep.
They deserve having Mike Trout and Ohtani on the front
big
page every day.
The big thing with Ohtani too is, so he's one of the best pitchers in the league.
Mhm.
And now he's also one of the best hitters in the league. We've known that for a few years. How do you pay him? Because he's worth, so like
Yeah. How
the
do
thing
you
about
pay him?
baseball
Ownership.
is
Yeah, just give him the team.
when high-end pitchers pitch once every 5 days.
Mhm.
And those guys are worth $35 to $40 million if they're Cy Young quality. Okay. So Shohei, just from his pitching alone, is worth $35 million a season.
Yep.
Okay. But he's the only guy who on his off days is raking 2 dingers against the Athletics. And he's an MVP caliber hitter as well. And those guys are worth $35 million. But you can't just pay Shohei Ohtani $70 million.
The Yankees can.
The Yankees would,
Yeah.
don't you think?
The Yankees can.
And maybe they do, like, and whatever team signs him, if it's the Yankees, the Jays, or the Dodgers, like you make back that money in jersey sales because he's
Right away.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, or Jay will come steal it off your mannequins and he'll buy it himself.
Yeah. The Angels
That's how you
lost.
lose money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When is he up?
I think after next season.
And is he
Shohei.
like a straight walk?
I think he's a straight walk. Yeah.
Oh boy, you got to trade Shohei then.
Well, they were talking about doing that this trade deadline.
Yeah.
Then
And
back
I think it
off.
happens this winter as they move Ohtani.
Yeah, you can't let him. You can't let him walk.
You can't
free.
let Shohei walk away.
No.
Love some
Baseball.
Shohei talk. What are we doing?
Hot.
Oh yeah, hot performers.
Oilers.
Did we get everything in the
Yeah.
cold
We're all
performers?
done cold.
Yeah,
We're on to
on
hot.
hot.
All right, another fuck you to the Nike outlet store. I love you, but I hate you.
Oh.
All right, Twig and Berry's hot performers of the week. We're going to reverse the order. Rick, you're up first. Your Twig and Berry's hot performer of the week.
I think I know your Remcheck will definitely be in on this one. August is it's fantasy football month. It's fantasy football draft month. I've had a couple already in July there, but those are different ones. But no, I got 4 or 5 coming this month. Sitting down, you're going through the magazines, you're getting everything ready to go here. This is a very fun time of year. It's a little bit stressful. You're sitting down doing it. I was drafted I won pick number 5 in a dynasty there yesterday. So I'm pretty excited about that. Set 12 guys. So yeah, no, this is fantasy football season. Let's go.
It's getting hot in here.
My
Nation
favorite.
Dan.
My favorite fantasy sports line is there's nothing more interesting than your fantasy lineup to you and no one else. But
the rest of the people in my league have an appreciation a little bit
fair
for
enough.
it. Positive or
And
negative?
your Twig and Berries hot performer of the week.
My hot performer of the week, it is off season, and I don't normally do this, but Big Brother this year has been
So
unreal.
good, man.
Did you listen to the
awesome?
Did you listen to yesterday's podcast? Because the boys brought that up yesterday
I didn't get a chance to yet. And don't spoil it for me for last night's episode. I haven't had a chance to yet because I busted my finger up. But yeah, this season, so much action, people taking shots, not very many mentions of not wanting to get blood on their hands, which is a huge piece for me. So yeah, Big Brother, you're getting my hot performer of the week.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
I could not agree more. Like, I wasn't excited at all for this season before it started. And then we're 3-4 evictions in now at this point, I think.
And it's not manufactured by the show either. That's what it's been in the past. Often is it's the show creates a twist to screw the house over. This has been the people doing it without the show even helping them.
And the twist this year was actually great. I thought it added such an intriguing layer of strategy to the show.
Yeah, I was a little bit mad. The first one I didn't agree with, the backstage pass.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it go play out, and then Paloma
have people get eliminated. Yeah,
whatever. She just self-eliminated, and they're like, "Well, that twist we had planned for this week, don't worry about that."
Yeah, but no, it's been really good. Highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also highly recommend.
Maybe we need a female viewer to chime in on this. But is Alyssa not way out of Kyle's league?
I think Kyle's very handsome.
You think so? All right.
Yeah,
Alyssa reminds me of Lori Loughlin.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but sure.
The woman
and
from
Becky.
Full House,
Becky.
and Becky, who
the criminal. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
Criminal.
Yeah, the
Jailbird.
if you want to go to college, you contact Aunt Becky. She will get you in.
Oh yeah, she was in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, hot performer of the
So
week.
we learned that Tyler is a big Alyssa fan on Big Brother.
I'm very open about it.
Tyler, your Twig and Berries hot performer of the week.
I'll tell you. I'm a hot performer.
Okay.
He's got off mic stories now.
Yeah, he's got
I
Big
do.
Brother creeping
It's like
stories.
crying.
The
too.
Toronto
It's gonna be
Raptors are coming to Edmonton.
Yeah, they are.
October 2nd. Tickets go on sale in a couple of weeks here. I'm really excited. NBA basketball in the city. It's preseason. No good players are going to play. Shut up. I don't care. NBA basketball in Edmonton is cool enough for me. Where's my button?
Put some respect on my name.
My Twig and Berries hot performer of the week. I'm going to give it to our colleague, Caroline Shved, kicking off her show Kicked Back today. That was announced this morning. It'll be distributed through the 90th Minute social channels. That is a brand new property and show with us at the Nation Network and Playmaker beyond that. So I just want to give my hot performer of the week to our friend Caroline Shved. And she got married last weekend. Double shout out to Caroline.
Double.
When do we ever play that button?
Never.
Yeah.
Mix it in once in a
That
while.
one's hidden.
All right.
Yeah, it's on the last page.
I like it. I like it. Any final thoughts, friends?
No.
No? All right. So for our friends at Oodle Noodle, DoorDash, Montana's, Twig and Berries, and Cornerstone Insurance. This is Oilers Nation Radio episode 216. Please keep sending your Ask the Idiots questions. Please keep sending your feet pics to Tyler. And if you see him in the Nation truck, wave at him.
Yeah, say hello.
And if you see him at Rundle Park this weekend, maybe you could cheers your ribs with him in the middle.
Or we could feed each other ribs.
Oh, that's cute.
That'd be really nice. That'd be some great content.
I think Bag Milk would be really jealous if you did that with somebody else.
100%.
Probably. Lady in the Tramp a rib.
Did you take home his art last night?
No, I didn't.
Ouch.
That would have been good to put up in the podcast.
That should have been. Yeah, that should be posted.
I worked so hard on that.
The whole episode.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. Episode 216 in the books. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Shout out Caroline and Mike.
Thanks for listening to Oilers Nation Radio, delivered by DoorDash. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.